here with another MADMAN Podcast. Well, this is a special one.
Yes.
Because it's only him and her here.
Yes.
So,
Stranded
alone on the island. So the other two...
Wait. On a door.
On a door in the freezing ice cold.
There we go.
And we may be talking about a super old reference of Titanic.
Correct.
Yeah, super old. But that's okay. That's okay. So the other normal...
I'll never let go of him.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would. And I would be freezing to my death.
See ya! Get your hand off of my hand, you clinky bitch!
Oh my god. Yeah, that would not be fun times for me. So this is podcast number 10. It's a little different this time because two of our normal crew were preoccupied with something else and could not make it to this one.
Correct.
But we didn't want to skip another week like we did last time. So we figured let her and him take the reins for a week. So this is the thing. Now that it's her and him, we need to upgrade.
Oh, we get to set some rules.
Yeah. Now we're running the ship a little bit. So we're going to upgrade so we're not her and him anymore. So what we're going to do is, since we're all big gamers here, we're going to use our gaming gamer tags or names on our system. So I am going to use my Xbox gamer tag, which is C-Money for life. So but I'm just going to go by C-Money. And then we're going to have her. She's going to use her Nintendo name.
Correcto.
Which
Mundo.
is Doodle to be free. But she's going to go by Doodle.
Yes.
So it's going to be C-Money and Doodle, which is a nice step up from her and him. I
would say so.
I think so. That's like a graduation.
Yeah. I mean...
Like, I don't know why we didn't get a ceremony of some sort. Because I think that would be...
I'm expecting some gifts.
I mean,
maybe
I like the idea.
A few rounds of applause.
Yeah. If I knew how to press the button to make the clap sound come on. Look at that. I pressed the button with my mind. See? It works. All right. So, that being said, let's get right into the juicy stuff that we like to talk about.
Yes.
Okay. So,
what you got?
This is a cool one for us because we really like this show.
Okay.
We had season 5 of Cobra Kai.
Ooh, Cobra Kai.
Now, we went pretty hard and binged this bad boy in a couple days, right? It was 2 or 3 days we did it and banged it all out.
Over a weekend.
Over a weekend. It was banged out. And
there was plenty of time left. There's what? This one had 10 episodes, I believe?
Was it 10 or 11?
Yeah, I think that we were on the 9th episode. We thought that was it. But I think this one had 10. Obviously, the last episode being a bit longer, like 45 minutes, is it normally?
Yeah.
The last episode.
You know what? I gotta tell you, never look at the time.
No, it kind of all bunches up together.
Play, it stops, automatically plays the next one. That's pretty much the
By the way, super annoying when Netflix try to ask you, like, are you still watching?
Yeah.
You know, like, just play. Like, just play the stuff. Just assume I'm there. If not,
maybe I want it in the background.
Even if I'm not there, I pay for your services.
Yeah,
so
like, don't worry about it.
If I'm running the electricity, let it run. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Just let me be Netflix.
I concur. So, Cobra Kai has been a pretty unexpectedly awesome show for us, right? Like, we didn't want to watch it initially.
Yes.
We were like, what the hell is this? This is an old-ass movie that they're trying to turn into a show. Mm-hmm. They remade the movie with Jaden Smith and, was it Jackie Chan?
Yes.
I think so, something like that.
I was like, why?
That wasn't that great. So it was like, and then they brought the real actors back.
Remembering or like mentioning.
Like, dude, the last time we saw you, you were a kid. Now you're 80,000 years old.
Oh my gosh, he did Dancing with the Stars.
Before?
Yes. Before they did.
Dancing with the Stars, I tell you right now, you want a show,
go on Dancing with the Stars.
That's what it is. You want to jumpstart your career, Dancing with the Stars is the place.
Yes. It was like, I remember when Dancing with the Stars was like the place for celebrities that were no longer really celebrities, and then it became the place where like no longer celebrities found a reboot to their celebrityness.
Yeah, or athletes who are trying to get into something else outside of being an athlete. But we didn't want to do it, and we said, you know what? Let's do it. Let's just check it out. We already have it on Netflix. It's the big thing. Let's watch it.
Fun fact, I found out that it was actually a YouTube show, and it ran on YouTube for about 2 to 3 seasons, and then Netflix bought it out, and they started making it. Wow. Like season 4, I believe, was the first one made by Netflix.
So when we saw it on Netflix, did we see all the seasons on Netflix?
Yes, but they had brought over. So
they restarted them.
Yes, but those were made on YouTube. Like it started on YouTube, and like then on YouTube budget. It was bought out.
So so it's a pretty cool story. I think we liked it in the beginning. It was the way it got set up, right? Like the whole the characters worked well, everything, the kids and all that stuff. Like it was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. The karate and everything else. I really loved that Johnny character.
Johnny, the blonde hair dude.
Yes, but LaRusso, not so much.
Yeah. I don't think I really like his character in general, but the cast around it, everything else that goes on, I think is good. So it was unexpectedly good. So we've been up on it ever since.
Yes.
So we saw the first season and we watched all the way through. Now we're, at the 5th season.
Yeah, I think this is the first season we actually waited for. Did we see 4?
4
the 4th one too?
We waited for, and we
so
watched
the first
it
3 seasons we watched in one,
one go.
It was,
we binged the first
loaded.
3, and then we waited. So season 4 was really good. So, all right, our thoughts. Season 5, we finished it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We finished the whole thing. Obviously, we don't want to do spoilers for people who haven't watched it. But your overall thoughts for season 5?
I thought it was okay. First of all, I watched the first episode and I was kind of like, oh my gosh, super corny. Same. And I kind of wanted to just not keep going with it.
Yep.
But then you kind of look past the corniness and see it for what it is. And you end up watching the whole season and you're like, oh, well, where's the rest?
Yep. Yep. Same.
That's funny because I really was not up for it after seeing the first episode. It's such a crazy thing to see these, and I mean, even not just from this season, like you look at the other ones, you kind of see this grown person with kids obsessing over this karate school, leaving like their business.
Yeah, like kids, wife, and business.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's kind of like, this is super unrealistic, but then you kind of lose the sense of it and you just watch it for the characters and the show and the story
they're trying to tell.
Yeah, you kind of end up really getting caught up with it. It's easy to move past the first few episodes and the nonsense and kind of just get caught up in just watching this stuff.
Well, I feel the same, right? So I had the same thing in the beginning. It was like, what are we watching here?
Yes.
Like what's happening? Like they lost all sense of purpose, right? So that's
who will ever do this?
Yeah, like this is ridiculous, right? So the thing is I think you're right. Like you almost kind of suspend belief to kind of make it work, and it's hard to actively do that. But I think the show if you give it a chance, the show will make you do that.
Yes,
it will make you kind of say, all right, I know it's stupid, but then it becomes good, right? Mm-hmm. So like, I know with this season, one of the things I liked, without spoiling anything, is that I do feel like they actually confronted it this season.
Okay.
Right? Like, I don't know, like in the show, they confronted it, like, why is this, like, what are you doing?
Such a big deal
You're
to
grown.
You, yes.
And then something big happened, and there was a whole thing that led to more stuff happening. But that arch kind of told us, the viewer, like, we know that you're looking this, like, what's wrong with you? Like, this makes no sense. And then they also, in the same token, said, but it's a show, and
this is what we do.
This is the show that it is, so we're going
really
in. We're gonna go in on it just to keep that going, right? So like, I think by the end of it, like, I'm excited for the next season.
I am too.
I'm excited for it.
It's funny because it was like we said, it was watched kind of back to back, and then I didn't even realize that. I was like, okay, well, like I said before, where's the rest? I want to see more. So I am excited for the next season. I will almost didn't watch it, but I will call it a success, right? And it makes me wonder about some of the shows that we have watched and we kind of stopped watching, like that Jurassic World. Is that the one from Netflix? One? Yes.
Yep.
So we watched the whole first season. It was really engaging, super into it. And then the season 2 came in. We saw like maybe a full episode, and it was kind of like the same way, like, that was meh, and didn't want to keep going with it. And now I'm wondering, mind you that like there are 3 or 4 seasons now, because we did stop, like we were waiting for it.
So this is the problem. As we're talking about it right this second, this is just what's coming to me.
Okay.
The first 3 seasons of the Karate Kid, Cobra Kai, right? Yeah. We watch start to finish, all 3 in a row. 4th season was the first one that we waited for with a lot of anticipation.
Correct.
We watched it, and it exceeded those expectations. It was crazy, crazy, entertaining, good. And then we had to wait again. And I think the thing that happens is life happens, right? So between seasons, you live your life, right? And things come up, and they take away what you remember from the show. So starting again, you kind of have to get back into the motion, right? Into that mentality of the type of show being acceptable and making sense. Exactly. Know? Especially when you consider the first time we watched it, we didn't want to watch it. Yes. Right? So our initial kind of reaction to the show is, I don't want to watch it. And then we kind of get into it. So it's these gaps between seasons that's a problem. Just like if the show wasn't all available at once and you had to wait a week to watch it. Oh, I wouldn't watch it. No way. No way. And this was the first time that they went from like having, like we mentioned before, they went from having the show in, I believe, January or February is when they normally release Cobra Kai, and they moved it to September. So, I mean, imagine waiting even longer. The only thing I can think about is like it being like super winter and you're super bored and you want more things to watch, and maybe it clicks better in that time of year. Potentially. I mean, I think there's a lot going on right now when it comes to and you also shows. Don't know the back end, because Netflix obviously is choosing when to put these things out. Yes. So maybe they have different things lined up for the winter that they don't want this to conflict with. Don't mess with The Witcher. Oh my God! Don't even get me started on that. I can't wait. But that's the thing. I think the problem we have with these shows is that, you know, you get into it, you watch the season, you binge the season, you love the season, and then it's gone. And then, you know, like that Jurassic Park you brought up, when we first watched it, we didn't know what to expect. It's not like we were saying, oh, I'm so excited for this. It was like, okay, this is new. Let's watch it. Turned out we really liked it after watching it. So it's the same thing. You know, the season 2 came up and was like, okay, we're excited for season 2. And then we just watched it and then stopped. Because I think so much time had passed, you know, that it just wasn't something that we were doing. But now there's like 4 seasons or so. We can go ahead and just get back into it. Give it a little shot. Maybe we might binge that bad boy. And end up falling for it again. And I think we have a bunch. Honestly, there's a lot of shows that we've done that to or with. Agree. It's not our fault though. Like, just release all the seasons you're ever going to make at one shot. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about whether it's good or not. Just say, you know what, we're going to do 10 seasons. Let us decide. You know what I'm saying? I want you to record everything. I feel like it's television as well as video games. It's just evolved so much. And just like before you would have like a certain amount of games a year, it was the same thing with television shows. And I feel like now with so many networks and so many apps, you essentially end up with so much to try. And so much to see that it's kind of like it has to have a very good essence for shows to last the way they used to before. Agreed. I know that with Yellowstone, which is coming back in December, we kind of took a pause. This show we picked up, and we're season 4 right now. Season 5 is coming in. Yellowstone is on Peacock. The truth. Yes.
Yellowstone
amazing.
is amazing. And
It's
I love
amazing.
that it's not 20, 30-minute episodes. It's actually like a nice long episode. What, 45 to an hour or something like that?
They're long, yeah.
Yes. And I love that show. So it was very difficult when we realized that we were on the last season and the next season wasn't coming. Season 5 was not coming till December. So we kind of took a pause.
Yep.
For a while and went through withdrawals of the.
It was not a took a pause like we weren't into it. Pause.
No,
we
no,
took a
not
pause
at
like
all.
we love this too much that we can't bear to finish the season and then
And
not
have to
have
wait, because
not have another season.
Oh my goodness, the way season 3 ended and the
oh my God, I would have
thinking
died.
that from that and not having season 4 there to get right into, I would like. It's like lose your mind type of situation.
Yeah.
I'm not being dramatic. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? What's going to happen?
Yep.
And when we realized we were on season 4 and season 5 was not coming yet, we were kind of like, okay, so on a more of a level tone moment, let's take a pause off the show. And I mean, every day thinking about the show though.
Yeah. Seriously, every time we were watching something else, it was
I was like, this is not
let's
Yellowstone.
put this on, but it's not Yellowstone. Every single time it was with that bitter taste. You know, I have a hypothesis that I just came up with.
Do tell.
I think we watch the first seasons of a lot of shows and like them.
Yes.
And then the second season comes out and a lot of times we don't. Or we don't continue it. What I think is we need to watch the first season of a show and then don't watch it again. Let like 3 seasons build up, 4 seasons. Because that way we know if the second season's good. Because if it was horrible and nobody liked it, they wouldn't have made a third or fourth season.
Okay.
But that should be our barometer. So we know, like, okay, they kept going. So something must be
there.
good.
There's some juicy content somewhere in there.
That's what it is.
Yes. Do you remember Scandal? How we were like ridiculously into it, but we never finished the last season. Like we literally gave up on the show.
We did.
On the last season. Isn't that crazy?
We did.
Because there were like, what, 8 of them or something like that? And it was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for Scandal to come back. And then
Scandal
was
so long ago.
It really was.
Like
we
so
never
long ago.
really ended the show. So did it end in a way that we would have been satisfied, or was it best to just kind of walk away from it?
Walk away at the high.
Right?
Because we like
high
it.
but a low. Have we been able to walk away had it been on a high still, or do we just not like the last season so much that we were like, this is not worth our time?
That's true. That's possible.
Yeah.
Good
Noted.
food for thought. Good food for thought, for sure.
So Netflix has Cobra Kai that we caught up with.
Yep.
And then we did try what?
Oh my God. Cyberpunk.
Yes.
Edgerunners.
Okay, so you have something very special to say.
You're gonna put me on the spot.
I am gonna put you on the spot. I'm just saying. I think
you know what?
It's the right thing to do.
It is the right thing to do.
It is the right thing to do. So
I'm gonna give it to roses. Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
So I will bend the knee.
Go ahead. Let me hear
and
it.
I will admit that I was talking hella trash about Cyberpunk Edgerunners
You
being
messed up.
a cartoon anime that I had zero interest in it.
Exactly.
When now I am obsessed. But I should not have went in so hard.
Yes. Prejudgment. Do
There
not
was a lot of
judge.
prejudgment.
Okay.
There was a lot of prejudgment. I've learned my lesson. I will not talk crap about things that I do not know 100% that I won't like, especially if I'm going to try it. So Cyberpunk Edgerunners is fire. That being said, we started it. We watched 1 episode, loved it. 2nd episode, we were watching it really late, and we didn't quite finish it.
No, but not because
it wasn't good.
Yes. So I would say those of you on the fence, check it out, because I was caught off guard. I was like, oh goodness, here we go. But the show was not what I expected.
It was not what I expected. The trailers did not show it the way that the show actually is, which is, it's really good, really deep, has a good story. I'm pretty excited to go back and jump in, but I feel like we're kind of like what we've been talking about. We need to be able to sit down and just binge through it.
Yes.
And we do have things that, see, we didn't know we were going to like Cyberpunk. So we threw it in the mix while we were
just
watching
to test it
other
out.
things.
Yes.
So we need to put a pause. We had to put a pause on it because
we have to give it the time it deserves and the attention it deserves. You can't sit there and be half asleep or being ready to do something else and say, let me squeeze this in. It is a show worth watching. It is. The graphics are awesome.
It is very well done.
And not only has it been good for Netflix, another hit, but it's also been great for the actual video game.
Yes. So Cyberpunk 2077, the game, is a masterpiece on PC.
Correct.
Everywhere else there was problems. Now the next gen systems have caught up. Everybody else is loving it. But
there's never been a situation that there's been so much controversy around a video game that they gave the customers their money back.
Yep.
There's never been a situation like that.
There was a whole big mess.
They had to give money back for this game. They were doing take-backs. Sorry. Didn't mean to do this to you.
It was pretty bad.
Sorry you had to play it.
But this, obviously, that was for the weaker consoles. I couldn't do it. From the beginning, I played it maxed out on PC.
You loved it right away.
It was the most stunning game. It made me an instant fan. I'm looking around my room now where I have all my statues and collectibles, and I got Johnny up there. I got everybody. V. I got everybody in statue form, pop form.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in right from the beginning. It was amazing. Pan Am, that was V's girl. That was awesome. It was dope. This whole thing, it was such a great story. The graphics were amazing.
Now, the game itself had 3 routes to take, correct?
It was just a starting.
Yes.
It was just little story beats that based off where you started. So you got a different beginning depending on which route you started. But everything else in the game was identical except in certain missions, you had an option to say something that you couldn't say if you didn't pick that beginning. So if you're talking to a character who, is saying something and your path kind of mixes where that character's from, you would be able to say something. Whereas if you had a different path, that same character, the option wouldn't be there. That's pretty much it. And even those options, it was only more like the role play of it to be like, oh, I said this because I'm from there, but it didn't have an impact on anything. You just got a slightly different response from the character.
It was so cool to see such a big actor like Keanu Reeves play a video game character.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
It's real. It's an amazing game, and they just announced the new graphics cards for the PC.
Okay.
So they have the new 4000 series. So, the biggest card is 4090, then you got 4080. They actually didn't say they were doing a 4070 or 4060, which are the lower cards. I think they're keeping the 30 series for that.
They are learning from their mistakes.
Well, so the PC
Let's not go to a lower place where we can't hold our end. Let's go ahead and do what we set up for.
So the cool thing is that the new 4090 and 4080 are super powerful, right? So like I have a 3090 in my PC, which is the top right now, and it's really, really good. But one of the big hurdles that even the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, 4K at high frame rate is almost impossible. Like they do 4060 a lot of games. So 4K, 60 frames a second. But most of the time with those systems, they have to downscale, or upscale. So they, instead of being 4K, it's actually like 1800p or whatever, and then they upscale it to look like 4K, but it's not actually 4K.
Almost like when you take a picture and you enhance it.
Exactly. So that's what the systems do. On PC at 3090 can do it pretty good, 4K 60. But if you do ray tracing, which is the new technology that really makes things look amazing, like crazy good, it can take a hit. So sometimes you can do 4K at 60 with ray tracing with a 3090. It does it pretty good, but you still get hits. The 4090 is going to allow you to have ray tracing at 4K at 120 frames per second. Like, it's so much more powerful. It's 2 to 4 times more powerful than the 3090. So the cool thing in reference to Cyberpunk, while I'm talking about this, is I'm so excited because for the 40 series, they're doing an overhaul to the graphics of the game. They're going to do the entire game ray tracing.
Ooh.
So ray tracing is the thing that makes the lighting and the world feel
impeccable.
real. Yeah, like you could take like Minecraft and ray trace it, and it looks amazing, like one of the best looking games you've ever seen. Right? It doesn't change the textures, but the quality makes it look real, like it's in the real world. Right? They did this for Quake, that game that came out in the 90s. They put ray tracing in it, and it looks better than most of the games that are out there. Right? So they're going to overhaul the whole game with ray tracing. So ray tracing comes in many different forms. They have ray trace lighting, ray trace shadows, ray trace ambient occlusion.
I remember speaking of ray tracing, and it does sometimes what I really love. I told you I pay a lot of attention to like shadows and details of reflection and how the raindrops and stuff like that. And that's what it does. It enhances that experience.
It actually makes it look better than real life, pretty much. So there's a lot of different forms, and a lot of times,
makes real life seem a little disappointing.
I gotta tell you, we were just a little break, right? A little pause. We took a picture outside. Okay. Now I with my eyes, I can see outside, right? But I'm taking the picture, and it's you there. I'm taking the picture. I can see outside, but I can also see through the screen of my phone. And I look, and I'm like, yo, that grass look really green on my screen, but in my eyes,
it's not that green.
That shit ain't green. It's like a olive navy tone. Like it's mad lifeless. But that picture came out right?
Yes.
So that's the thing, right? That's what this does. It kind of, in video game form, you don't want things to look real. You want it to look better than real.
Yes.
You want it to look like when you go back to your memory of something, that's the way you remember it, right? You remember it being bright green, but in reality, it was like a dull green, right?
Yes.
So that's what happens. So with this ray tracing, again, you have these different options, and a lot of times you got to pick one. That you got to either have good reflections, but you don't put it on the other stuff because it's too heavy, or good shadows on the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5.
So you get to kind of pick yourself?
Well, not in PC, yes. On systems like Xbox and PlayStation, they're saying, okay, I think the best way this game's going to look is if we enhance the shadows, and then everything else is screwed. So on PC, they're going to tweak every single part of it. So there is a game on Xbox and PlayStation and on PC that does full ray tracing.
Okay.
That's one of the best looking games around. It's kind of old now, but it's called Metro Exodus.
Okay.
They actually released the game, and then they upgraded it for the new systems, and then after that they upgraded it again to do full ray tracing on everything, meaning everything you see is ray traced. Cyberpunk was one of the heaviest games without ray tracing. Without ray tracing, that game was heavy to run on your PC. You add ray tracing, which was super stunning, but it's super heavy. It's
always been the problem.
Yep. Now they're taking it a step further and doing every single thing in ray tracing in the world. It's going to be amazing. Now, the reason that this is working is, and I know we're kind of taking a tangent, is that NVIDIA is creating a new form of DLSS, which is DLSS 3, which is basically their super solution to upscaling. Okay. So they upscale, but they're the masters of it. So they really put their foot down when they created DLSS, which wasn't great. But then DLSS 2 was a huge improvement, and this is DLSS 3, which is taking it to the next level. So it goes at like 1080p, but it upscales it to 4K or 8K, whatever you want. And they've shown in-game screenshots and this is done third party, so it's not NVIDIA showing it to you. Digital Foundry does a whole thing, and they show you screenshots of the game that they took while you're playing, where the real 4K image, native, no upscaling whatsoever, they did the 4K upscaled using DLSS 2, and it's so good that it actually fills in the gaps that the actual creators didn't put in, because it uses AI. So if you have a street sign, right, the game is saying, hey, this is a perfect street sign, but now we're going to render it in game. That's how it teaches DLSS, right? It uses real world objects to know what it's supposed to be, and then it basically cross references with what the game is trying to tell it to do, and it's like, okay, I know what you're going for. Let me enhance it because this is what it's supposed to look like. So in 4K, the creator's imperfections a lot of times are actually gone and upscaled and made better, cleaned up by the AI. So they made basically the perfect system, and they're actually increasing it more. So this is why with the 4090, it comes out October 12th. I'm praying to the GPU gods that I can get it, because the 3090, I couldn't get one until I bought the new PC with it built in, and that was way after 3090 been out. I want to get the 4090 when it first comes out. I want to upgrade to that because that's going to be a big.
So what's the difficulty? Hard to find? They sell out right away.
Sell out immediately.
Like,
you go online and it's just like
technology.
Nothing.
Talk about how we say technology. It's like incredible, the movements that are being made now.
Absolutely.
And then if you have an opportunity, if you're into games or whatever with this stuff, and you have an opportunity to enhance it in that aspect, then why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it makes sense. If a video game can sell out something like this, that would be so detrimental to the video games. It's like
it's a huge thing. So that comes out October 12th.
So we like Cyberpunk.
We love Cyberpunk.
Edgerunners.
The Edgerunners
yes.
is phenomenal. We're gonna wait for a little bit till we catch up with finishing the other things we have on our plates, and then we're gonna go hardcore
and give it the attention it deserves.
Absolutely.
All right.
Now I know that we're on the Netflix kind of train here. So one last comment, I think, is we're not going to go too deep into this, but just as a side note, stand-up comedy on Netflix is a huge thing.
It's so huge.
It's so huge. We relied on it so much during the pandemic to bring some joy and kind of laughter and fun. So they've been really good. Obviously, they slowed down a lot after the pandemic.
They have. I love a good stand-up.
But they still do release them, and they're still coming out. And one of the people that we discovered during the pandemic that we now are super fans of is Joe Coy.
Yes. Hilarious.
Oh, my God.
He is so funny.
He is so funny. It's not even funny. Like, it's just crazy how funny he is.
I was not expecting that because I've seen Joe Coy on the Chelsea Lately show from Chelsea Handler on E, right? And she had a round table where they talked about topics like in the celebrity topics and whatnot. So he would be sitting there commenting on stuff, and I mean, it didn't seem like anything special. I didn't think he was like super funny. Yeah. And then we've seen quite a few of his stand-ups. Yeah. But this last one is hilarious. What's the name of it again? Live from LA or something like that?
Coming in hot. No. Live from Seattle? No. In His Elements? No.
Okay. You've mentioned every
Live from the LA Forum?
Yes, that's the one. That's the latest one. But thank you for letting us know about all the other stand-ups that he has on Netflix.
Just trying to get you up on it.
So that's the latest one, the LA one. But his other ones are really good. The In His Element, it's really cool because he goes back to the Filipinos and he shows to the Philippines. Philippines. And then he shows the culture, and you can see how happy he is to do that. You know, so it's like a bit, he does some stand-up in there, but he also shows a lot of the Philippine culture and everything. And check it out. I mean, this last one was just hilarious.
It's so good.
Good.
There's jokes in there that will forever be joked about in this house.
Yes,
like we will constantly use them in this life that we have because they're so funny.
They are.
There's certain jokes that do it.
You know, he seems to play off a lot with the audience, and I don't know if this was.
I don't know if it's real or not.
But it's freaking hilarious.
So funny.
He's super funny.
So funny.
You got to check him out. He's really good. I was very impressed with this last one. I was super happy when I saw that he had a new one, and then it was like, oh my gosh, this was better than any other ones, and I always thought he was
so
he was really good.
full MADMAN podcast recommendation there.
For sure.
So good. All right, so this is a random thing that happened.
Okay.
But it's worth talking about it a little bit. GTA, right? Grand Theft Auto, one of the biggest games. GTA 5, Grand Theft Auto 5 is still one of the biggest games that ever released.
When was that game released, by the way?
2013.
That's insane.
9 years ago.
That is still so big.
It's still constantly in the top 10.
But that's the thing. Grand Theft Auto is the type of game. They've made 5 games, correct?
Well, 5 games plus spin-offs.
Yes. But each
5 mainline games.
Like, these games are always popping.
Yes.
They're always
they've been popping from the beginning.
It
not
doesn't
the
like,
beginning. Since Grand Theft Auto 3. Okay, so Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2 were on regular PlayStation, original PlayStation. It was over the top. It was a cool idea, very difficult to play because you drive and you would hit something because you couldn't see it. And then the generational leap they made was when they did Grand Theft Auto 3 for PlayStation 2 was the world-changing game. It changed games forever. Okay, Grand Theft Auto 3 was amazing.
Yeah, the open world, being able to do whatever you want, walk
kill
into
anybody,
place, do whatever you want,
hire prostitutes,
jump
put them in your
on
car,
anything,
park, and do stuff in the car.
The chases when you rob something and
everything.
you get chased down.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a huge thing. Then they made spin-offs of that. Okay, then the next big one was Grand Theft Auto 4. Grand Theft Auto 4 was amazing. A lot of people were down on it because the story didn't jive with a lot of people. It did for me. I loved the way, Nico, but, it's just a great story. And the gameplay was fun. Has a humongous modding scene. So on PC, people to this day still mod that game and make it look photorealistic. Like, it's stunning. So that was a huge game in its own right. And then eventually you got to GTA 5. Okay, so GTA 5 was the first game for the next-gen systems. It actually started out as a 360 game at the very end of 360. Then it got the next year in 2014 released for Xbox and PlayStation 4. Okay, so GTA 5 was huge when it first came out, but that was 2013. 2014 they upgraded it, re-released it on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and they added like the first person view. They did so much upgrades, like it was ridiculous.
I'm shocked for such a big game that they don't make a lot of like collectors editions
because it's not the character. That's the thing.
It's how you play. It's the freedom of playing.
It's the game
obviously.
itself that is huge. Not the story is great, but it's not. You don't show up for that. It's great, but it's not like that character is so memorable. I should have a statue of him.
Yeah, I think you show up for the freedom of it all.
Yeah, the freedom, though, exploring what you didn't think was possible in a game, because that's what they do.
I don't know if you recall, but you left it. My experience with Grand Theft Auto is you had left it on, like you left it running, and I was like, who would want to play running around doing all this bad stuff? Like I was like, I couldn't play this because I would just want to neatly play it. Oh my gosh, I grabbed your remote and I did so much bad shit in like a matter of seconds. I was being chased down. It was insane. And the thrill and excitement and the fun of doing all this nonsense that you can't just do, it was insane.
Yep.
So
agreed.
I understand.
So that game was huge in that respect, but then what took Grand Theft Auto to infinity and beyond was GTA Online. Okay, so what they did was they took that game, they put it online. So everything crazy that you could do in that game, now you did it in a world with a bunch of people
that were all playing,
that were all crazy,
no computer,
killing everybody nonstop. It was like they put in a peace mode where you can put your character in peace mode, so you can't shoot anybody and nobody can shoot you. Because people will just kill you. You're just walking around trying to do a mission, dead. Right? But it's so cool. Like, they basically did what no one ever thought possible, and they thought that it was something that they could duplicate by when they made Red Dead Red Dead 2,
Mm-hmm.
which was another. That's such an amazing game. I love it with all my heart. It's amazing.
I do love, like, you always tell me about it because I do love like horses and stuff
Oh my
like that,
God.
and you say
It's
like that's
so
the
good.
game that I should be playing.
I feel like we need to do a series of where we just play a game that you haven't gotten in, and we just play it and just do it and record it, because it's such a good game.
I'm in.
That's the way. Like, there's a few games that I want to do that with you. So we might do something like that.
I like that.
idea.
I like that a lot.
I like that idea. So, the GTA Online blew up, right? It's in the stratosphere. So right now, to this day, 9 years after release, it's constantly in the top 10 games every month of games that are bought. So every month they sold like 180 million copies of this game.
Yeah,
it's crazy, right?
So it's like a paid for Minecraft.
Yeah, it's just like
it's always being used and played. Yes,
always being updated. They're always doing new events online. It's ridiculously good, and people have taken to the single player, and they have mods for it. And GTA, literally online, there's people who have servers that make their own server where you have to be invited to it.
Okay.
And anybody on that server, right, they role play. That's how big Grand Theft Auto Online is, that there's people who role play lives in that game. So you might be a photographer,
okay,
and that's your job, and you love photography. So all you do is go around in the world, and you're a photographer. But you talk to people as the photographer, and people might hire you and say, "Hey, listen, we're gonna do this. We need you taking pictures." There's a guy who goes and logs in. I watched a couple times, who logs in every day, and he's a chauffeur driver. So during the day, he wakes up, he goes to work. He goes to this place.
This is like the ultimate life simulator.
It's crazy.
Like to get into a game and be able to commit to doing this.
Yep.
Like play.
He works for hours in a day, and then afterwards he comes home
to work on Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I know. But he goes and he goes in the game and goes to clubs and does other stuff, and that's how he.
That's crazy. So, I mean, it's no Animal Crossing.
Oh,
but
no. Of course, nothing can be as good.
No,
but that being said, it's phenomenal. So it's huge. That's why. So it's such a big deal, right? So everybody knew a Grand Theft Auto 6 was going to come, but it's never gone this long between games. There's never long. It's 9 years. Never been this long between games, right? But we knew it was going to happen, and we've heard things, right? Like the original creator, not the original creator, but one of the owners of Rockstar. They actually both left. But one of the things he said, his last game was Red Dead Redemption 2, and he said they don't even know how they were going to make a 6.
Okay.
Because the world is so sensitive now. Mm-hmm. So Grand Theft Auto is all about mocking the world that we live in. That's what's so funny about it. They mock everything, but the world's so sensitive, right? So there was a lot of uncertainty and unknown going on.
I mean, anything could be a lawsuit. Yeah. Anything can be
a movement,
canceled,
a movement against them.
Yes.
So I get that. So they were very, concerned about that, but they did, there was speculation that they already started, and then they announced, we did start work on GTA 6, right? And the reason they waited so long is because of the success of GTA 5. Nobody thought it was going to be this big.
Well, I mean, if it hasn't stopped, it's
still going.
So why?
They're taking their time. They want to make it. They want to exceed our expectations.
It has to be exceptional for
it has to melt our minds.
Game. Yes,
it has to melt our minds. The expectations of GTA 6 are so high that I couldn't even pretend to tell you what those expectations are. Okay?
You don't even know.
I don't even know.
You know when you see it. Exactly. You're like, yes, that's what I was expecting and more. But you don't even know what you're expecting. Or
that being said, the piece of news that we're actually talking about is so there was actually a hacker who hacked into their Rockstar's backend.
Okay.
And took a bunch of work in progress clips, code, everything.
Ooh,
so you got actually.
That's rough.
And he put it online, and you can see the videos of GTA 6, and it looks good, but it doesn't look great. But it's because it's still early.
Obviously,
they're still just practicing, trying things out, doing all that fun stuff. But he went ahead and he was trying to ransom it off, saying if anybody from the creators of Grand Theft Auto want to reach out to me, I can we could work out a settlement, work out some money, but nothing less than 5 figures.
Settlement for what?
So that he doesn't sell it off or release it to the
public.
public.
Oh my goodness. But you just hacked into their system and took their stuff.
Yeah,
that's
it's
insane.
crazy. Like it's highly illegal. Why would you think they're going to negotiate with you? They're just going to find you, right? Well, fun fact, they found him. He's a 17-year-old kid in the UK.
Okay.
So they found him, and they obviously haven't said anything about that besides the fact that they found him. But this was a huge thing. There was a unprecedented. It was huge. Like they showed so much. We've never seen a game be exposed like that without them putting it out on purpose. You know what I'm saying? And it was a big deal.
That's messed up because that's messed up for the fans that don't want to know what's coming. Well,
there's a lot of people do, but then there's a lot of people who just want to know anything.
I wouldn't want to see.
No, I want to see it when it's going to wow me. I don't want to see
when it's ready.
I don't want to know how the bacon is made.
Yes.
I just want to eat the bacon. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I don't want to see the process of it being cooked and all that crap. No. Just, I want it on my plate when it's
crispy.
done. Extra crispy when it's done. But that's the thing. So what spurred from this, though, is that a lot of people were giving shit about the graphics, right? Mm-hmm. Now, again, the graphics that were there were better than a lot of normal games out right now. But they haven't done anything to it, really, okay? They haven't sat there and tried to make it good. They just went ahead and they're doing their own back-end stuff. It's not meant for anybody to see.
Exactly.
So a lot of people were talking crap. Oh, we all know that the first thing they do is graphics, and then they do all the systems. So a bunch of developers, it was actually pretty cool to see, other companies started coming out and saying, in support of the developers of Grand Theft Auto, start doing things like, oh yeah, of course, the graphics are the first thing that get done, for sure. Let me show you our work in progress, images and video from when we first started the progress, and you're going to be blown away by our amazing graphics. And then you see the video, and it's like,
pure crap.
Circles and triangles walking around.
Okay, so think about this, right? They make an animation movie and it's all sketches.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right? And they develop the story. They go over the talking with the little pictures and everything. They actually sketch it and put up the drawings on a board, and they go over the acting and all the and the storyline and everything else before they polish a movie. Obviously, when it comes to video games, the graphics, it has to run properly. Obviously, video games right now, it's a big deal with the storylines and everything else. So those are like the last little details that you get to.
Well, yeah, because you have to make it right. But this is the thing.
You have to make it right. It has to run right.
You're spot on. They have to start somewhere, and then they eventually get to it, right? But this is the thing. You got to think about it. Games take a long time, right?
Yes.
So if a game takes 5 years to make, right? Do we want them to make the graphics
based on 5 years ago?
Based on 5 years ago, and sit there and say, well, we made the graphics first. I don't care what new technology comes out. We made the graphics. Now we're just going to make the rest of the game. No, it doesn't make any sense, right? They put in a baseline graphic just to be able to get the sense of what they're making. And then at the end of the project is when they put the most energy into making it look good. Because they're using whatever the newest techniques are, whatever the newest technology is that's available to them. Like, how many times do you see, I mean, even we see a lesser version of that when when engines change midway. How many times does it suck that they chose Unreal Engine 3 and then Unreal Engine 4 comes out before they even finish the game, so it looks like a last-gen game? That's what we're dealing with now. Most of the games that were made now were made on Unreal Engine 4. Well, the big sizzle that's out there now is Unreal Engine 5. Well, all the games have been being made for years on Unreal Engine 4. They're not going to look like Unreal Engine 5 games because they were made on Unreal Engine 4.
Yes.
It's now all these games that are coming out in 2-3 years from now, those are going to be the games that are pushing the max because you got the Unreal Engine 5 being used, right? The last thing that they're going to do is tweak it graphically. That's just what it is. They're going to do what they can to maximize at the end the frame rates. They got to see how they might make something look beautiful, but the Xbox and PlayStation can't run it that good, so they have to tweak how nice it looks so that the frame rate goes up and works better.
Do they know how long ago they started working on this game? How long has it been?
I mean, we all believe it's been for a very long time, but I think they actually announced it last year
Okay.
that they've been working on it, but I think educated guesses are between 2 to 3 years that they've been full into it.
And averagely, it takes about 5 years to make a game.
Yeah, about 5 years. So we're thinking that this game is probably going to come out like 20,
I think we're
25.
focusing on the wrong thing. I think the fact that he stole this and then he went on a rampage of how much money he wants.
It's crazy.
To not sell it to someone else or another company, it's freaking ridiculous.
Yep.
So I think the fact that their system was broken into and that they got hacked and that all of their work was exposed, I think that's enough. Let's back off on the graphics. And I don't think Grand Theft Auto has ever been a letdown, right? So let's ease up.
I agree.
Yeah. Let them do their thing. Let them get their game back and do what they need to do. And let them put out their game.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be
It
amazing,
is.
regardless of what it is.
I think obviously it's focusing on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
As usual.
As usual. All right. Well, so that was our fun little GTA talk. Now, just a quick snippet since we got a little bit of a update. So we all know we had a long, big conversation about the slap heard across the world. When Will Smith slapped Chris Rock live at the Oscars.
He sure did.
He did. Okay, so we discussed that in great effect.
Did you at any moment think that it was not real?
When he first went up to him, I thought everything leading up to the slap was a show.
Okay.
I thought they were going to say something silly or do something silly or whatever. But then the slap came and I was like, nope. Shit is real. Okay? Because nobody's going to say, I signed up to be slapped live.
I mean, it happened so fast.
On the Oscars.
And you kind of like hit that rewind button real fast to see if you saw what you saw.
Yeah.
It's like, did that just happen? Maybe, wait. Let me see it again.
Yeah.
And again and again and again.
It was something. It was
something else.
So,
yeah, it took a minute for it to process that and be like, did that really just happen nowadays on TV? Like, that was crazy.
We witnessed assault on TV, which was
by
wild.
Celebrities.
By celebrities. But that's to show you that these people are still just people.
Yeah.
They just have a lot more money than us.
That's it.
That's all. So the little kind of tidbit update of that whole scenario is that obviously they were like, man, Chris Rock, dude, sorry you got slapped live on TV.
And we didn't do anything about it.
And we just let that ride.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, Will, he's gone. He can't come back. Okay,
no,
so you're safe. You're in a safe place here. Let's hit redo. All right, why don't you come back, host the Oscars. We'll pay you more money because you did get slapped. Okay, so I get it. We'll hire some security just in case anybody else feels like you get slapped for a joke. Okay, maybe don't tell jokes this time, but come back and we'll give you some money. And Chris Rock, I mean, I would do the same thing. Said no thanks. I'm not going to go back to the place where I was slapped.
The room where it happened.
Yeah, I'm not going to go back.
The room where it happened.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that anybody needs to be in that room where that happened.
It's like, come on, man.
So looking at it through his eyes, I would be like, listen, I was there for 5 minutes and I got slapped. You want me to host a whole show? God knows what can happen there.
Yeah,
and now that everybody feels the right to get up and go ahead and express themselves, I don't think he should put himself in that situation again. When it comes to payment, the Oscars, they don't pay as greatly as they should because it's like kind of like an honor to host the Oscars. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he has a need to do it. I think he's going to be forever known as like the most impactful thing that's ever taken place at the Oscars. I
don't think he'll ever even get on the stage again at the Oscars.
I don't think he should.
I mean, we know his acting won't get him there.
The disrespect that he went through with that whole thing, it was humiliating. At the same time, he just got right back to what he was doing. But having that happen to you the disrespect of them not necessarily doing anything about it. It's kind of like, okay, I don't want to be there. I don't want to do this. No, you guys should have treated me with more respect, and it should have meant something for them to want to do something about it when it did actually happen. This is not I know that they're doing it as a stretch, an olive branch.
Yep.
If
part of me thinks that they're doing it just for the headline.
Of course.
So listen, hey,
they're making
we
nice.
offered him to host it because of what happened to him. He said no,
and that's
not our problem. Hey, Dave Chappelle, come host.
Dave Chappelle said that would have been great. That would be great. But Dave Chappelle did say that had it been him on that stage and Will Smith had tried to do this, Will Smith would not have. Let's just say Will Smith would not have enjoyed the rest of his night the way that he did.
Well, let's be real. Will Smith only did that because it was Chris Rock.
Agree, 100%. I don't think Chappelle being up there, Will Smith was going to get up there
Will
and
Smith
go try to
wasn't going to go walk them because motherfuckers was going to bang out.
That would have been something else.
Yeah.
That would have been something else.
That wasn't going to happen. That wasn't going to happen. So, needless to say, I agree with Chris Rock. Don't do the Oscars. Don't even show face there. It's not worth it. Go to the Oscars to, be a part of the show as far as, your friends or whoever's getting their awards and eat their food or do whatever you want. But I wouldn't get on stage again.
No,
but at the same time, you could look at it and be like, do you really want to let Will Smith have the power to take away your future presence, right? Because be it as it may, hosting the Oscars is a headline, a big headline.
I see why he wouldn't want to do it. I agree 100%. He's like, okay, well, that was a lot. But I agree with what you're saying. I mean, you already went through it, milked the crap out of it. Honestly, I would have sued the shit out of Will Smith.
I mean, he did the Oscars before.
Personally.
Like, he hosted it once before.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, actually.
So it's not like it's his first time. So,
maybe he's going based off of the experience. Wasn't that great? Don't want to do it. Especially with having to be... You can imagine how much more they will filter the jokes.
Yeah.
I mean, the jokes are very filtered out by the time they actually...
I don't think that was... No, that wasn't scripted.
No, the host. They have to... They filter out the jokes.
Yeah, the regular jokes.
Yeah.
But I mean, that moment that he told that thing to Jada... Oh, I get what you're saying. As a host,
you have to, yes.
Be scripted. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think it's not necessary. But when it comes to like milking a moment, I mean, he's taken his time to speak on what happened. He hasn't really said much, and he's touring. I believe he has stand up coming with like Chappelle and stuff like that. So I don't know that. I don't know that he wants to put anything out there other than the fact that wait till my stand-up comes out and see what I have to say about it.
I'll say my story in my stand-up.
Yes. Like, I will tell my story, how I want to tell it, on my own terms, and see how I feel about it. I mean, that's a lot to process, getting bitch slapped on national television, and then replayed and replayed and replayed over and over and over again. And discussed by so many shows for like weeks or months to come. Like, that was something, unfortunately, that was just replayed and replayed. And it was something that unfortunately took place. And it took place nowadays in such a cautious world. And they just let him go back to his seat and just stay there, and all the other celebrities kind of just dealt with it. Like, they were okay with it. They okayed it. Like, nobody went and said this isn't right. Nobody stood up and did anything.
But you know what? How many people are? Like, I didn't get slapped. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not my problem.
Not my problem. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get slapped. I'm not. Maybe Will Smith is gonna make a movie one day, and he's gonna be like, yo, I'm going to pay you $10 million to be in my movie. And I'm going to be like,
what's it gonna,
sounds good.
What, the slapping show?
Listen.
Now that we want to see. Why don't we get an interview with Will Smith and Chris Rock, hashing it out?
Well,
bring it to theaters.
that would be something. I mean, they already publicly did things, but still.
No, Will Smith gave his fake apology, and I'm not sure. I think I don't think it was
Chris didn't accept the apology.
Yeah, it was. I mean, because it was super staged.
I mean, it kind of is what it is. You know what? At the end of the day, these are rich people making a fool of themselves.
Yes, and the thing is that a lot of the things that they do because they have to do, not because they want to do. So essentially, it's politically correct for him to apologize. So they told him the thing you should do is apologize, and that's what he did. But we were able to see how he really felt about it when he was running around laughing and not giving a crap. Because, I mean, it's what you do, not what you say.
Agreed. That being said,
who's gonna host the Oscars?
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out soon for sure. All right, now this is a cool little tidbit here. Deadpool 3.
Woo!
Deadpool 3 is coming, and Ryan Reynolds is going to be Deadpool as always. It's their first appearance in the MCU, and to make it special, he released a little clip going into what's going to be the big hook, or the claws, for the new movie. Turns out he's getting his buddy Hugh Jackman to play Wolverine.
This is amazing!
In Deadpool 3.
First of all,
that's the hypest shit ever.
So excited for Deadpool 3.
I was gonna be excited for Deadpool 3. Now I'm like super excited.
Super hyped.
Like so excited. I love Wolverine. He's such a beast. Though.
I may even say I'm super, super excited. That's kind of more than
super excited is definitely more than the super excited that I said. But I think when you say super, super excited, you have like two lowercase supers where I have one uppercase super.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so
well, that makes a lot of sense. But
like
if you stack them, essentially, so we're at the same level of excitement.
And if you put an extra P, it's supper. So maybe we're thinking about food because we're hungry. Not sure. But that being said,
I didn't see that coming.
It's gonna be this is like a big deal. There's a big deal. Wolverine he's coming out of retirement. Hugh Jackman is gonna play Wolverine. He's the only person who can play Wolverine.
Seriously.
Anybody besides him is a waste. It's just like Deadpool.
Nobody
else can play Deadpool.
Anyone else but Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool. And the same thing with Hugh Jackman.
Yep. Hugh Grant would be interesting.
That would not be good. That would be a very, very, very bad thing. I cannot even imagine that. Actually.
Oh man, you know what's funny?
What?
Nobody even knows who Hugh Grant is that we're talking about right now.
You know, what's that Sandra Bullock movie? 2 Weeks Notice, right?
Yes, great movie.
That is what I remember him most for.
Yep.
Anyways, but to the more relevant actors, Hugh Jackman is incredible.
He is Wolverine.
He is Wolverine, but when he's not Wolverine, he is no longer Wolverine. Does that make any sense?
It does. He's that good of an actor.
When he made The Greatest Showman, and
amazing.
He's singing, and he's this whole other person, and it's a full-blown transformation, and then he comes out with his hair and his claws, and he's Wolverine, and he's jacked, and what the heck just happened? You guys are not the same person, but it is the same person.
He definitely needs to go ahead and change his license to Hugh Jackman. Oh, my bad. Sorry
that was definitely.
Sorry about that.
That was something else.
So, fun fact: Love Wolverine. We did not watch Logan.
Did not. No,
we started it.
We started it. Okay.
Never finished it.
Okay.
We
should
owe it to ourselves now
to check it out.
Agree. Because that is a banger.
Okay.
Known across the world, and we should watch it.
All right.
So
that's a plan. Slap. Sounds like a plan. No Will Smith reference
here. Yeah.
Slap.
This is the non-violent slap.
This is We're
Sound
very,
like a plan.
Namaste.
Which, by the way, I made a reference to Joe Coy saying a joke that will forever be part of our lives.
Oh, Slap
And
is
Slap
definitely
is from D-Ray.
D-Ray. D-Ray, wait. What's his last name?
Wait.
It's
Is
not
that-
D-Ray,
No, it's
no.
Dion. Dion Cole.
Yes,
Dion Cole from Blackish.
Yes, oh my goodness,
Yep, that joke
stand-up.
his stand-up was hilarious.
Yeah,
it's the only one he has.
The car. Would you just get in the car? Come
That
on.
is Dion Cole. If you haven't seen it, he's freaking hilarious.
Yes.
Such a good stand-up. I wish he has more. It's criminal that he only has the one that I know
Seriously.
about. But that slap is his cousin's joke. Sounds like a plan. It's hilarious. So that forever ingrained into our lives as well.
Yes.
So yeah. So
D-Ray is
D-Ray
he's funny too.
Also very funny.
Mm-hmm.
D-Ray is hilarious. He was on
He was on Empire.
Empire. That was the show.
He played Cookie's cousin.
Cookie's cousin, and he died.
In Empire.
In
the show.
They killed him off. Not in real life. He wasn't a zombie doing the stand-up. Okay. So, Deadpool 3, excited. Okay.
Very excited. So he came out with a video. What else can you expect from Ryan Reynolds than to have a freaking super funny clip where he's sitting there trying to figure out how he's going to put together Deadpool 3. And then they had this one idea, and Hugh Jackman walks behind him and he said, would you care to play Wolverine
one last time?
Yeah, and he's like eating an apple or something. He starts going up the stairs and he's like, sure, Ryan, or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Classic.
I lost it when I saw it.
Nope.
Super pumped. And then they made a second clip where they're both sitting there and they're like, yeah, we want to talk about why, you know, the ideas we have behind it, that it's not just like whatever. And then boom, music starts playing and they're going over the whole movie and this happens and that happens, but it's all covered by the music. And then they come back out when they're done talking, obviously. And I'm just thrilled and excited that they're just together. If that chemistry that they have in their relationship is portrayed in the movie, it's just going to be really good.
Yeah.
Great actors together playing their greatest role, I think. Because for me, Ryan Reynolds, is Deadpool.
That he became Ryan Reynolds when he made Deadpool.
Mm-hmm. Because I think Deadpool gave him the freedom of acting, hiding behind Deadpool to be able to do the inappropriate jokes that he secretly wanted to do, but maybe
before
didn't want to go there.
He was a funny actor. I liked him before.
I liked him.
Just Friends was a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it a lot. So I liked him before, but and the
Proposal. Oh, one of my favorite movies. Yes.
Was also a great movie.
Yes.
So he was already great. I liked him a lot, but he wasn't commercial.
No.
Deadpool has not made him commercial. Now anything he does is a big deal. Before Deadpool, not big deal.
Mm-hmm.
After Deadpool, big deal.
Ooh, what was that movie he made for Netflix? The Adam Project or something?
The Adam Project was good. Free Guy was good.
Yes, that was good.
He's just
the Adam Project was great, though. I really enjoyed that a lot.
He's grade A now. He's a top tier.
Yeah, for sure.
So
there's no more Ryan Gosling and then the other Ryan.
No.
You know,
now Ryan Reynolds is the more bigger actor.
Oh well, slow down, buddy.
I didn't say he was the better.
Calm down.
I said
Calm
bigger.
down. Calm down. He's more popular now.
Ryan needs to find. Gosling needs to find a superhero he could be.
He's playing what's his name? The Barbie movie?
Ken.
Yes.
It's not a superhero.
No, not at all.
No.
Just saying. Just saying. You know, Ryan Gosling, obviously known from The Notebook, greatest freaking movie.
Very good.
It's
top tier.
Amazing.
Love it.
And then he started doing a lot of he did Murder by Numbers with Sandra Bullock, and then he did Crazy Stupid Love.
That was a banger.
Yes, and he did Drive, and he's done a lot of movies. But then he started chasing. He went on that Oscar chase.
Yep.
Yes, and then he started making all these.
Blue Valentine.
Yeah, what was that other one? It was just insane. Take it off! Remember?
Only God Forgives.
Only God Forgives. Oh my goodness. I was so excited to see this movie. And then I watched it and I said, why? Why?
That was the worst movie I've ever seen.
And then he did also Beyond the Pine trees or something.
Yeah, but he was like a secondary character.
Yeah, he was because it was a broken up movie into 3 parts that kind of connected somehow. Yep. But that's where he met Eva Mendes or something like that.
Ryan Gosling, that's where he met her?
Yeah, something like, I think it was through that movie or before, I don't know. But they now have 2 kids, so the movie was okay, but look, it changed his life.
Exactly.
So, anyways, what I'm getting to is that get back on track, boy. Let's see how this Barbie movie turns out. But man, you're a great actor.
He just needs to be a superhero. Oh, that new movie, Gray Man or whatever.
Oh, that was amazing. That was
a banger.
Oh, I need to shut the hell up.
But that could have been a superhero movie, and then he would have been.
Well, it was made by the superhero gods of Avengers.
Yeah.
Right. So essentially, is it technically maybe a superhero movie?
No.
He's got this way of being super funny too, and he can do great romantic comedies and
action
and all that stuff. So he just has to forget about, and I know it's like a status thing having an Oscar, but just start banging out movies.
Agreed.
All
right.
What was that dancing one too, by the way? He made a lot of movies with that actor. What's her name?
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone. She's really good too.
She is.
Yeah.
She's gotten big. She went from Easy A to being a great actor.
Yes, she did. You got to start somewhere, right? So if funny's what you got to do to get in the door, then that's what you do, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So Deadpool 3, banger.
Yes.
Now, we have a subtle new controller that's coming out, but I think ultimately when you look at it, it kind of grows on you. It looks really nice. Sony is putting out a new God of War limited edition controller. It looks nice. It's going to be regular retail price, $74.99. Comes out November 9th. Right before the holidays, right before the big games coming out. Or actually, is it the November 9th that the game comes out, or November 8th? Either the same day or the day after the game comes out, which is going to be huge. I think we talked about it last.
We did talk about
trailer.
the trailer, and we mentioned the remote, the controller. I was under the impression that this was like a $200 controller.
No.
Okay, that's why I was comparing it to the Elite from Xbox, but it's essentially just
regular controller with a color
the regular controller. They didn't up the price, and it has a two-tone, and it has the God of War name on the back. It also has the wolves, not completely detailed, but just like
it's not a busy controller. It's not like out there. It's more like
the Papa Wolf, the baby wolf, and the wolf pack essentially feeling of it all.
Just a homage to the game.
It has an essence of the game.
Yeah.
There you go. More than a full-blown detail. Yeah. I actually think it's, and it's a limited edition. I think that it's for the game to do a little something, not boost up the price of the actual remote.
Yeah.
It's really good. I actually saw that a lot of people were trashing the design, but they're going to get it anyways because they're going to try to resell it.
So this is the thing. So I was one of those people, right? So
one of those people that trashed the...
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't like it when I first saw it. I thought, again, I'm an expectation guy. So if I'm thinking God of War, I'm thinking big picture, right? Graphics through the roof has to be because it's God of War. Controller, come on, man. There's so much that you can do on a controller for God of War. The color scheme, the fire of his gauntlets that he has, different things you can make that.
Different elements that can go into the remote. Yeah, I understand
make it look
that
great.
100%.
But they did it so subtle. But, in talking with you about it, I get that it's like almost like a beauty in the subtle nature of it.
It's almost like an homage to the game. So they don't normally do this. They're taking just a little essence of it. Here, this is for the fans. We're not upping like I said, the price, and we're not doing all this crazy stuff. But this is for you guys.
Yeah, like when you compare it to Xbox's controller designs that they do, there's nowhere in comparison. Like an Xbox does beautiful. I mean, I'm looking at a Forza controller that's so crazy cool. You got the new Gay Pride one that looks awesome.
Yeah,
They have
stunning.
so many cool designs that they do with specialty remotes.
The Looney Tunes that they
Looney
did,
Tunes
and stuff
they
like
got
that.
like the Sonic one that they made with
Yeah,
Razer.
but that Sonic one wasn't that one. That's like, but that's where I'm trying to compare. So for me, yes, at first I was like, okay, so what did they do? They freaking sketch and they said, here, paste this on the remote. But that's because I was thinking like the Sonic remote it's very expensive in comparison.
They're collector controllers.
They are making this, but they're treating it like how the Xbox makes the red controller, or they make the yellow controller. It's all in the same price. So if we're looking at that, then we can't be too picky, right? Because they're just essentially doing, the basic model with a little bit more, right?
But my argument is then God of War is your biggest thing. Fucking make me a $200 remote.
But
you know what I'm saying? Like blast it out. Let me see, or make two. Make a basic and then make a
But
even
maybe
more
they don't want to
collectors.
do that. This is the one thing that they kind of have the outline of the remotes and their controllers, and that's kind of what they stay with. They don't like Xbox tends to have these bulky, huge controllers. And
Whoa. Let's dial back the Xbox slander. Okay? Let's not go in on the box.
Listen, it's not the most comfortable controller to hold.
100% fact it is.
100% not.
Factually speaking.
Come on.
Factually
speaking.
The world has chosen its controller, and that's the Xbox controller. The only people who love the PlayStation controller are the people who will lie to the world to say that the PlayStation controller is better because they want to.
It's a more comfortable controller. It definitely is.
By definition, your fingers reaching like this the entire time.
I will argue that has everything to do with the size of your hand.
This is what I will argue. I will argue that I'm not going to argue with you about the PlayStation controller versus the Xbox controller. So I will take back my Xbox defense and just know internally in my heart that nothing can compete ever in life. But
definitely, that is definitely.
But what I'm saying is that I would spend the money and buy the. Well, let's put it this way.
Listen, they went all in on their collectors. They made a lot of different versions, right? They have the regular game, then they have the 2 or 3 collectors edition.
Yeah, but I would also argue that even the collector's edition, is not like
ridiculous.
It's not like Horizon Forbidden West collector's edition.
Okay.
Right? It's not like Elden Ring collector's edition back there. It's not like any of the Halo collector's editions, even though they didn't do one for Infinite, but like the older ones, they didn't do anything popping that's like, oh my god, this one is going to be cool, but it's not like a dope statue of
well, I think they're relying a lot on the fact that this is such a big game for them, right?
Yeah, but go all out, man.
Yes, but to them, go all out. If we've spoken before about how PlayStation doesn't push beyond what they have to do. So if you are charging the collector's edition, there's one that's $250, right? And you know that people are going to go nuts over this. Is that the one I tried
to get, but couldn't?
Yes.
So I got the one right behind it.
Right behind it, yes. So
which is stupid.
If you know, yes, it is.
Even though technically they're both different, meaning you could theoretically buy both.
Whatever you need to say to justify.
Yeah. I'm just saying I chose one instead of I couldn't get one.
It was sold out. Yeah, for sure. That was definitely a choice.
It was a choice. I didn't like the changes.
I do remember you being really upset about that choice that you made and telling me to keep an eye out.
You know what? I had some time.
The other choice.
I had some time to sit.
Yeah, and you said that you decided to make that choice,
I decided,
not that it was decided for you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
for sure.
I didn't like the changes.
You think about that for a little bit, but
I will. I'm gonna sit on that.
But the whole point is that everybody's gonna go nuts about this whole situation, right? Now the controller is sold out at Walmart and on Amazon.com. I believe GameStop still has some of the controllers available for pre-order, but the biggest thing is to hear or to read some of the comments about how they don't care about the remote, but they're going to buy it to resell it when there are so many people trying to get who are actual fans of this game or PlayStation in general and are going to be trying to get this controller and are probably not going to get to because somebody who's not into the controller, who even wants it, is going to go ahead and take one of the limited quantities that they're going to make.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane?
It is.
Like to upsell it or whatever.
So we're not going to upsell anything, but obviously we went from having no interest in not getting anything to now we have 3 coming, right?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Well, listen. All I said was maybe you should take another look at the controller and see if you actually want it.
Gotcha.
And then as I was explaining to you all the reasons why you should get it, I kind of fell in love with the damn controller.
Yes.
It's so cute, like the freaking little wolf and then the Papa Wolf, and they're like howling up, and you're like, oh, little, wolf pack family little thing. And this is like a moment in time because they have not made anything like this before. So I want to be a part of that.
Well, we are now.
So
successfully 3 times.
Yes.
3 times. 3 times for sure.
In panic, give me! I'm trying to get this.
Now.
But they did. I do have to say the build up in this whole thing that they did, like it's gonna go live at any moment. They kind of did this whole PlayStation thing that they've done from the beginning when the PlayStation 5 came out. It's like, you might get one, maybe, possibly. And this is the way of creating anticipation in everyone and making them want these things. Now, these are the things that make something that won't be remade. That's the one thing. That's what I would say.
No. Because
there's a lot of people that collect things, and things are made special by the supply and demand situation, right?
Yep.
So I feel like we live in a world that even if things are not special, are pretended to be special because of everyone's desire of like finding it through Twitter. I think Twitter is such a big thing with selling these things and making them seem bigger than they are.
Oh yeah, agreed. 100%. Now, this is a cute little tidbit because we are big Christmas people here, and the Queen of Christmas is a Miss Mariah Carey.
She sure is, rightfully so.
All I Want for Christmas Is You is the best Christmas song ever made.
The ultimate Christmas
Undebatable.
song. Yes.
If you think otherwise, you're wrong. Facts.
FYI.
FYI, no matter what. So they have graced Miss Mariah Carey with a pop of her own, a Funko Pop that's going to be coming out. And there's also maybe you could clarify for me a little bit, a Rocks Mariah Carey Fantasy 4.17-inch vinyl figure that's separate from the pop?
Yes, so they're making 2 pops of Mariah Carey that are releasing this year. So the
both versions are Christmas?
No, so there's the Christmas version for All I Want for Christmas Is You. It actually has the cover. I don't know if anyone you've seen it, but GameStop has they have a Witcher that is GameStop exclusive, and they also have the Halo Master Chief, and it has like the cover of the game. It's The Witcher 3, has the cover of the game, and then the pop in the front. So they're doing the same thing with Mariah Carey's, and that one is not GameStop exclusive. That one you can pre-order it at Target or whatever. But they're making the cover of the album and then Mariah in the front of the thing. I love the cases that it comes in, by the way. It's not just like a regular box, like a Funko box. It comes in the case. But those normally go for $14.99. I think this one in a lot of places, this is going for $19.99. But they're also making Mariah Carey Fantasy. You know her song Fantasy?
Sweet Fantasy.
They're making a pop for that.
Really?
So that's pretty cool. Look at Mariah.
Getting burned. She knows what to do. You gotta get yourself out there, make yourself relevant. Listen, this lady like every year of her life she lives on what she makes on Christmas.
It's insane.
Like Christmas is her pay for the year.
She starts Christmas for everyone.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy, but that's it. So great job, Mariah, for
getting in the
Getting
Funko.
into the Funko Pop game.
Yeah, I mean, these things are literally, dude, they're so beloved. They make so many. I love the exclusive ones because it makes it more special. Because they do make so many, it's really cool to find some that are only found at Walmart or only found at GameStop.
And there's one for every taste. Anything you're into, the chances are there's a pop for it.
Correct.
Which is a great way to kind of expand your fandom and just, you know, be able to have little touches of things that you like, you know, around, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, now, talking about little things that we like to have around, we got our friends over at Nintendo coming out with amiibos. And
They sure are.
they have a GameStop exclusive purple Splatoon Inkling Squid.
You know, that caught me by surprise because I don't remember them announcing that there would be a GameStop exclusive amiibo for Splatoon or any other amiibo that's actually GameStop exclusive. So I was kind of shocked when I saw it, but yeah, they have it available. It's exclusive to GameStop. I don't think it says in any other place on the actual amiibo like GameStop exclusive.
Yeah.
But I do know that it's being sold by GameStop for $12.99, and you can see it now on Amazon through other sellers for like $40.
Of course.
So obviously this is something that if you're interested in, you got to go and grab very fast because they take it, they resell it, and if you don't know about it and you don't know where to find it exactly, then there you go, overpaying for something.
You know what's cool about this whole kind of movement? You know, we've been in the collectibles game for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm Halo through and through. Love Halo, Master Chief, everything about it. Obsessed with it, some would say.
Essentially.
So you know, I'm looking around and I have a million different statues and figures and pops and basically everything you can possibly think of from Master Chief and Halo. And like, it's pretty cool that now things are almost so accessible. Like before we were collecting things, but these weren't so readily accessible. Like they weren't making a ton of stuff like
They weren't making a lot. And also, as much as I say that Twitter is the problem, Twitter's also the solution. Because if you are looking for something, and
you don't know things exist, they tell you what exists.
You don't have to go into a store and see if you sometimes, I mean, it's not just going to a store because you would have to look for it.
Back in the day, that's what you did.
Yes.
What else? What's new?
Bump into
so you go to the store
and be like, okay, well, there it is. I found this. But now you can kind of hear about it, know about it. And it all comes with the fact that you can order online so much. That wasn't a thing before either.
And the thing is that the problem with online is that how else do you know about things? Because if you could buy it online, the problem is you don't shop online. Like, we call it shopping online, but you rarely shop online. Like, you're not really looking through things online. Most of the time when you're buying something online, you're looking for something
specific
and you're searching for that thing and you're trying to find something that suits that need.
Correct.
But it's not like back in the day where you'd just be walking to the store and you went, even if you think about the grocery store, right? You go for milk, but you pass the bread aisle. You're like, oh man, let me grab this. Let me grab eggs. Right? That's the same thing we used to do in toy stores and game stores, right? You would go into these places and go for one reason, but see other things that made you want to buy them. When online, it doesn't always happen that way because if you're searching for a specific thing, they're going to show you the thing you're searching for, not necessarily a whole bunch of other options.
Correct.
So at the end of the day, this is a new type of scenario that makes things easier to find things, and Twitter helps you with that. You know, you follow the right people. We follow Wario64.
Mm-hmm.
He is basically your online guide, and he will tell you anything that's available to be purchased or pre-ordered.
Yes.
For the most part, in the general fandom that we're in when it comes to movies and gaming. So that makes things a lot easier, but it's a lot more accessible now. You know when things are coming out. You know, there's so many things that we've purchased from him that we would have never known that were coming out.
That is very true.
So it's pretty cool that, you know, Splatoon is such a hit that they keep releasing things. You know, this is a big deal. We've had a lot of fun with the game. We actually kind of stopped playing a little bit. We got to get back into it a little more.
We do. Now, we spoke about Splatoon having its own version of the Switch, and this week they released a version of Pokemon.
Oh yeah, that one looks
It
so
is
cool.
stunning. It's beautiful,
Yep.
beautiful, beautiful.
Agreed. But it's like, how many Switches can you own?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at what point do you just stop the bleeding?
And it's not like they announce it and they say, okay, well, we are going to be releasing all these versions, so hold off for the one you may want.
You might buy this one, and then next time they come out with a new game, it's like, oh my God,
I didn't know they were going to make a Splatoon version, and I certainly didn't know that right after, like, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, they're releasing another version. Like, normally they wait, like, a year to release a different version of something, but they did not. They went back to back, and I mean, I understand the holidays are coming. People are going to buy it now for the holidays. So whoever have not bought a Switch
and remember, they're looking to give people a double dip from people who had the original Switch before the OLED version came out. And there's going to be a lot of people who are like, all right, I still have the old one. I love Pokemon. Wow, they came out with the OLED Pokemon one.
Let me get it for that reason.
I'm getting it now. So, they're smart.
Aside from the OLED, there was, obviously the screen was slightly bigger. But I don't, the white, what are they called?
Joy-Cons?
Joy-Cons, were the big difference when, aside from all those little things, but they had the red and the blue, and it was kind of like, why would you get the red and blue if it's the same colors that was only available for the original Switch? So it was kind of like, you gotta get the white one, right?
Yep.
And so are these versions of it OLED as well?
Yeah,
or
all the new ones are OLED.
Okay, so all the new ones are the upgraded version of the Switch
Bluetooth,
with
a whole bunch of the bigger stand, all the big upgrades. I mean, the new Switch is arguably the Switch they should have released to begin with, but that's a whole nother discussion. Actually, speaking about the Switch, we were going to talk about this a little bit later, but now we're talking about Switch. Maybe just hop into it. There are a couple handhelds that are being released, but not for Nintendo, for the cloud. So cloud gaming is coming up. Right now the big players are Xbox and Nvidia with GeForce Now. There is another player who, another piece of news we'll get into deeper, is going through some things, but Stadia was a big cloud part of the game. They were a cloud company, and Amazon with Luna, right? So those are pretty much the four players, but there's only two real ones that are big, which is Xbox Game Pass on Xbox Cloud Gaming, and then you have, like I said, Nvidia with GeForce Now, which they focus on PC gaming online. So Logitech, they're a peripheral company. They make PC keyboards and racing wheels and controllers and headsets and mice for your keyboard and stuff. So they make monitors and things like that. So they are releasing, in partnership with Tencent, a cloud focus handheld that's Android based. So it's an Android tablet, so you can buy games and Netflix and you watch your movies on it. It has all the capabilities of any Android tablet that's out there, so you have access to the Google Play Store. But they partnered specifically with Xbox and Nvidia to make Xbox and GeForce Now front and center on the system for cloud gaming. And they have a special interest with Xbox, where Xbox is actually actively promoting it, almost like it's theirs, as a cloud solution. Like Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, came out and said, I've had it for a few weeks. I've been taking it with me. I took it to Tokyo when I went for TGS. There was actually a big deal for Twitter for a little bit, because there was a picture, like a candid picture of Phil Spencer and Hideo Kojima next to each other with somebody else there. and there was like a device in
the
Hideo Kojima's hands. Everybody's like, what is it? What is it?
Well,
and nobody knew what it was. Well, this
answer.
is what it was. So he had it with him. He's showing partners because Hideo is rumored to be making a cloud specific game for Xbox. They announced a partnership that Hideo Kojima is going to be doing an Xbox game, but it's supposedly cloud focused. So the handheld is cloud focused, or has Android capabilities. But by cloud focused, what it means is that they're actually using the hardware to enhance cloud gaming. So the things that the low latency, all the things that make cloud gaming better, if you kind of tune for it, that's what the purpose is to be a better experience than just your phone and the hand grips, right? Because the phone is not designed for it. It's capable of doing it, but it's not designed for it. So you have a lot more lag between, the signal and when you press a button, the image. Again, there's layers.
Which is difficult to play online and anything like that.
Exactly. So that's what it's going to be.
How much do you think that this has to do with Nintendo and the Switch?
Everything to do with it. Switch brought back the handheld. Mm-hmm. So before, when Switch had a home console and a handheld, handhelds were for children.
Yes.
Even though grown people loved them and played them.
The 3DS was like here.
You buy a 3DS for your kid, and then you go home and play with the console, right? Grown up play with the console, kid play with the handheld. That's the mentality that hardcore gamers had. Nintendo said, you know what? We're done with that. Everything all in one. Mm-hmm. You want to play at home? Plug it into your into your TV. You want to take it on the go? Take it with you? You're a handheld gamer now. They made it where it was cool to have a handheld.
This is really cool to see, because essentially what is happening is like a step behind, where, it's always so claimed that Nintendo is the one that's a step behind, and they've taken this and they're essentially ahead of the game, where now everybody else is kind of like following up, and they have now a separate device to be a handheld, and then they have the regular system, which comes back to Nintendo with the regular system, and then the 3DS or the DS, and that's really cool to see.
Listen, Nintendo, whatever you might feel about Nintendo, they have been in this business since the beginning. They're innovators. They have created entire platforms that have been copied since then. They created the handheld in any significant way with the Game Boy. There might have been something before that, but it's irrelevant because the Game Boy was the first handheld that mattered. Mm-hmm. After that, that's when other things came out. Let's not forget the Wii was the biggest thing in the world with motion controls. Nobody had motion controls. Nintendo came out with it. Then all of a sudden, PlayStation and Xbox both came out with motion solutions, right? Because they wanted to copy Nintendo. Nintendo was a trendsetter.
Now the same thing.
Now they do the Switch. And guess what? Handhelds were thought dead. Now they're back. Now, if there's handhelds out there that you would want, and they've been doing like PC handhelds. Steam Deck is a huge one, right? Steam Deck is the Valve's handheld. It's this portable PC. It's amazing. We have one. I love it. It's really good. It's also really huge and really bulky. Mm-hmm. It's not a portable.
No, easy access, device. Fold it, put it aside.
It's not. It's really big. You have to keep it in this, it's a little suitcase that you have. It takes up, like I have a backpack, and it's the whole size of the back. It's the whole size of the backpack, top to bottom. It's huge. And you got to save it because it's an expensive piece of equipment. It's an expensive piece of hardware. So, it's not insignificant. You got to protect it. So it's huge. So it's not easy to carry around. And like we have it. I do play games natively on it. I wasn't for a long time. And then I put in a couple games. I have Cyberpunk on there, and I have Prey that I'm playing on there now. And it works great native. I mean, it's really good. But for a while, before I played these two games on there, I was using it as a cloud gaming device. I was using it as my Xbox Game Pass cloud, handheld. But this one is focused on it. Like that one, you have to jump through hoops, right? It's not even supported natively. They have a whole tutorial. From
you have
Xbox.
To unload the suitcase.
Yeah. You have to do crazy stuff to get the xCloud to work on Steam Deck. But this is straight out the box. It's gonna have battery life. Oh my God, that's a huge difference. Steam Decks, you got like 3 hours max, and it's gonna die. And that's if you're not playing intensive, graphically intensive games.
Yeah,
it
because
could be
then
even
it dies
shorter,
out even
like
faster,
hour and a half,
even
and you're
faster,
done.
Yeah.
But the handheld that Logitech is making is 12 hours, 12 plus hours. So you can keep it, and then it's not going to die because it's been.
I wonder if that gets cut in half too, according to the game.
No, because it's cloud.
Okay.
It's not running on the local hardware, so it's just a stream. So intensive game or not intensive game, it costs the same to run. So there's no difference. So that's why it lasts so long. But it's made for it, and I'm excited. And I'm excited because this has always been the future of gaming, like being able to play anywhere at any time when you have some free time.
Yeah.
It's you're not stuck to say, oh, I'm only at home when I can play. If you have a busy life but you have a lunch break and you got half hour that you can play a game that you're into.
Yeah.
You can do it.
As long as it's not a suitcase that you have to drag into work and then.
Well, that's the thing.
Maybe y'all know this.
You have something quick.
What are you? Are you moving in?
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. It's a big thing. Now, one of the things that people are saying about this is that it's Wi-Fi only.
Okay.
So you have to be somewhere where there's Wi-Fi, or you have to use a hotspot on your phone, which is not a big deal. Now there is already, again, Switch popped off, and now it looks like they're coming out quick. Razer, which is another peripheral company who does a lot of controllers. They make actually a lot of the special controllers that Xbox has. They do laptops and things like that too. They're getting into the game, so they're working with Verizon and Qualcomm, which are the people who make the chip in the system, and they're releasing their own cloud-based handheld, which is going to be similar. Now, we don't have all the specs because they didn't officially announce it. They just did a teaser out there, but they did announce that it's happening, but we don't have all the exact figures from it yet. That's going to be on October 12th.
I wonder what the price range is going to be for these things. Because as much as you
Logitech is $350.
Okay.
On sale when you pre-order it for $300. So $350.
That's which one?
That's the one Logitech that's already announced. The one that they have a partnership with Xbox.
Okay, and then
Razer, we don't know.
October
12th is when they're going to announce the thing.
See, but that's what's tricky, right? Because you pay that much for the Nintendo, the Switch, right?
Nope.
And it's kind of like you get both.
Well, but you don't. Nintendo, you get Nintendo games, right? You don't get to play your Xbox games. You don't get to play any of the big games.
Potato chicken nuggets.
Potato chicken nuggets is the way to reference that. Yeah, the difference is
for sure
is real. It's real. But no, it's an exciting kind of time to see what they're going to come out with. So Razer, obviously working with Verizon, gives you 5G, which means that with the system, you don't need to have Wi-Fi, you don't need to have a phone, but you have to have a plan, right? That means you actively
This is where they get you.
This
is crazy.
To have a plan.
This is where they get you. I don't know. This is too complex for me in my taste of things, But there's always a consumer. Yes, there's always a consumer. This is always good for somebody. That's always works for someone else. But when it comes to like this stuff, see, now you got to have a plan where you're making monthly payments in order to run a system that you bought and paid for. And like, it's probably going to be $400 or $500, and then on top of it, you're going to have a plan. And then if that plan is no longer there, then what happens? No more play.
To be clear, it's not the only way to play. You can play on Wi-Fi.
Listen, I like my reliable sources. I like playing games with PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo for Shizzo. But this whole other broad of nonsense coming in is not for me. There was the Google, what's the name?
The Stadia.
The Stadia, RIP, sayonara.
It's actually
lasted how long?
That's the next bit of news. Google
How
Stadia
long did that last?
Was a competitor. It lasted a couple years.
And then now, bye-bye. And now you're talking about charging this much for these systems that are not really systems. And I mean, at least the one is backed up by Xbox. Phil Spencer's out with it. So that makes you feel like essentially it could work and stick around and be something that will be linked to their Game Pass and all the other stuff. But when you do think about Xbox and you think of when the PlayStation came out with the Blu-ray and then Xbox had that external HD DVD player, and then when that didn't work out, they just dropped the DVD player, the HD DVD player, and that was just an extension you spend money on, and then it wasn't a part of it anymore. They weren't making movies for it. This feels that way to me. Well, it's kind of like an extension of a way of playing that can potentially just be gone.
Well, to be clear, it can't. The device is not can never. Once you own the device, even if they stop making it after they sell it, and they just get rid of the idea.
Google is literally gone. This is the problem
Stadia
with
is gone.
Stadia. Yeah.
Yeah, but Stadia was the service. These are not services. This is hardware to connect to a service that Xbox runs.
Now, it
only goes away if Xbox says we don't have xCloud anymore. And
unless Xbox is coming out and saying this is a branch of our own thing.
It is. Cloud gaming is their branch. They're focusing on.
So that's their gaming system. Why aren't they calling it Xbox Mini side?
They didn't make it.
Handheld piece. That's a catchy name.
That is.
That's a catchy name right there. Just say it. I'm gonna tweet him. Tweet it out. Tweet it out. If they like it, give me a call. You know? Email me. Send me a message.
I mean, but you already gave them the name because it's not trademarked. So technically,
I'm gonna go trademark that real fast. You know what I'm saying? I think that is catchy enough that they're gonna want it.
Yeah, you gotta write it down, put it in an envelope, mail it to yourself. Okay? Never open it. That's your proof that you thought about it before everybody else. Okay?
This video is the proof that I thought about it before anybody else.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's true. Unless it gets hacked.
Oh,
and
damn.
they change your words.
And then they try to resell it back to me.
Yep.
My own words, they try to sell back to me.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't paying. That's all I'm going to say. And I ain't tracking nobody down. Okay?
Oh,
so
man.
There you have it.
So, that being said, I'm excited about handhelds being a thing. You know, that somebody has to put the energy to perfect it, right? We got to take the steps.
Oh, are you taking jabs at Nintendo that have not perfected
cloud
the
gaming,
handheld?
Cloud gaming.
Oh, okay. Gaming. Be specific.
Cloud
you know what I'm saying?
Don't
be throwing out words out there.
I do most of my gaming in cloud gaming.
Heavy words out there.
It's a big
without
thing.
Being specific.
It works really well. So having a handheld that makes it better is a good thing. Now, one of the big games that we had this whole big Xbox, Activision, PlayStation hubbub about, Call of Duty.
Hubba Bubba.
Had their multiplayer beta last weekend.
Okay.
Which was pretty divisive amongst the community. I would say that I played it one night. I put a few hours into it. And
what did you think personally?
I thought it was pretty awesome.
Okay.
Pretty awesome. Very, very good. I had a great time. Graphics were amazing. Gameplay was amazing. I was in it. It feels great. Feels like a
what are some of the complaints?
This is the thing. I don't believe them. That's what the complaints that they have
such
are just
invalid?
Nothing. They just say I don't like it.
Okay. So it's whack. It's an opinion.
It's garbage.
Yeah.
It's not even an opinion. It's hate because Xbox is going to own them.
There's no actual context behind the actual.
Yep. Time to kill. People are saying you died too fast. That's Call of Duty. You've always died too fast. There's not. Call of Duty is realistic. You get shot,
I was just about to say it's realistic.
It's not looking to do it. Different games. Halo. Love Halo with all my heart. Different game. Uh-huh. Halo. I have armor on. Of course, you're not going to kill me really quick. I have armor. But they absorb. Right?
Call of Duty
I have a shield. It regenerates.
Simulator, essentially.
Your skin doesn't regenerate. You ain't Deadpool. Right? Okay? Now that I just said that out loud, how do we not have a Deadpool shooter?
All right, let's go.
Deadpool first shooter.
Get on
shooter.
it.
Everybody
Make
gets shot.
game.
Parts fall off, but it regenerates.
Oh, that would be dope.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. Great idea.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and take any emails and phone calls about this idea I just came up with. Again, this was two back-to-back right here. I'm nonstop. Nothing can stop me.
Nothing can stop you.
It just keeps running,
It just keeps going. It just keeps going. These are all original ideas. All original ideas.
Technically, I mean, you heard it here.
You heard it here first. But no, seriously, it really was good. I really enjoyed it. I'm really excited that Xbox is going to be owning them. That's the only problem that I have right now is that this is a game that I'm really excited for. Single player, really excited for it. Multiplayer, equally excited about it. But I'm not going to buy it. Comes out later this month, October 28th, I think, something like
Game
that.
Pass.
I'm not going to buy it because I know Xbox is going to own them, and it's going to go into Game Pass.
Call of Duty right now is not going to be looked at as just Call of Duty. This is the game. This is what we made. What do you think of it? Call of Duty is coming right now with baggage and the issues with Xbox and PlayStation, and everybody's going to go to their corner, and instead of looking at the game for what it is, they're looking at the drama around it. But I think that will very fast be let go of.
Yeah.
Very quickly once the game is out.
Yeah.
I think Call of Duty's Call of Duty. Call of Duty fans are going to cut the shit.
Well, it also has the baggage of last year, right? Vanguard, a lot of people didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
So I played it. I beat it single player wise. Dope. Played a little multiplayer. It was good when I played it. But now playing this one, I realized that it wasn't that good. It wasn't as good as this multiplayer. But the game was good, but people don't like it. So that's the baggage this one's going into, where people are, being ridiculous. I was playing online, and I hear this guy talking on the mic, and he's just playing the game, but just talking shit about the game while he's playing the game. Newsflash, brother, turn the game off. Stop playing it. Go play something else that makes you happy. Why are you sitting here complaining about how trash it is?
But you're playing it. And making a video for everyone to see.
And you didn't even buy it. It's fucking free.
Yeah.
It's a demo. It's a multiplayer beta. Get out.
Yeah.
Cancel
you
your
have
pre-order.
Choices.
Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be ridiculous, dude. Like, don't be ridiculous. Stop. There's this culture of people just wanting to be heard. Mm-hmm. So, and the only way people listen to you is if you're complaining. If you're saying this is a great game, nobody wants to hear that.
No, because people want to see the complex and
negativity sells. They want people complaining. They want hot takes. They want that people online literally just say things just to be the opposite because that's the way they get people to pay attention to them.
Yeah.
So they go
throwing
and they write things on posts. People put PlayStation or Xbox. They put up a Call of Duty video, and instead of saying, "Oh man, that looks cool. That looks great. I played it, had fun," they're like, "That looks trash. This is garbage." And then the people who feel like they have to defend it go and talk back to them, and now all of a sudden
it's a back and forth, and it becomes well, listen, when it comes to the whole bad press is better than no press, and there you go, right?
Yep.
We're talking about Call of Duty, so good or bad, it's being talked about.
Absolutely.
So that's a good thing. The good thing is that there's balance with good and bad, right? It's not just the bad.
Yeah, it's just that the bad is what is heard.
Yes. You know not necessarily. By some, it affects people.
On Twitter,
it affects
that's
how
what's
they
heard.
see it.
The bad is what bubbles up, right? When people talk crap, when people talk nonsense, all the bad thoughts. If a game is doing bad, it blows up as far as being talked about. When games are like okay, people don't. They could be good, but people don't care. It's these negative takes that get the most traction, which is sad. It's just like the news, right? Why is the news all bad news? Because that's what people want to listen to. They want to there's misery.
I don't like the news.
Misery likes company. People who are miserable like to be involved in miserable stuff, and that's what happens. That's why it's always like that.
Well,
but c'est la vie.
That was a not beat conversation right there.
It was turning really, really good. Let's go ahead and do a nice little flip here. We had SEGA come out with Sonic.
Okay.
The movies.
Yes.
Movies were bangers. Okay. Out there in the world.
They did well.
They did well. Okay. So SEGA has decided that since Sonic did good, which was a really old IP they had laying around doing nonsense, they figured, let's go ahead and take all the other things we have and see if we make a movie out of it. So basically, they right now have greenlit movies based off of IP that a lot of people probably don't know. One is Comics Zone. One is Space Channel 5, which some people might know the name, but not know what the game is. Shin Megami Tensei, which is like a Japanese style anime game. Persona, like Persona 5 type. They're making a movie out of that. And Catherine, another, that one's a little more out there.
A little more grown.
A little more out there game. But they're making movies, all these things, on all these IPs. I mean, honestly, I don't know how good these things are going to do.
Honestly, I think they should take it one step at a time.
Yeah,
they just brought in, Knuckles to the new movie.
Yep.
Let's just keep going and see where that's going to head. And, I
mean, the anime ones are probably not that bad, right? Like Persona, Shin Megami Tensei,
I think that's
going to
be really
out
good.
of them, I'm assuming. They're not going to do live action, I'm assuming.
I just don't think that they should throw it all in one shot. Just kind of slow down.
Like, you know what?
Yeah, let's just do everything we got. Yeah.
Everything.
Now we're good at everything. How about you pick one more, see how that does, and then expand from there. But now they're just throwing out all the titles that they have and that they can do things with. And I would say, good for you, but take a step back and
slow your roll.
Yeah, like don't go full in yet.
Yeah.
Give it a second. If you want to try a new project, go ahead, try that out, make it right, give it all the attention you can, and hopefully it will do as well as your other movies. And then from then you move on.
Yeah, I mean, these things are not something that it's like you're so excited for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like none of these names are like, oh my god, I'm so excited. I mean, Persona maybe.
Yeah, and Persona it's such a big game that it kind of. A lot of times when a book is being transferred into a movie or a video game is being transferred into a movie or a show, you lose a lot of the essence of what it was, and a lot of people are not happy with it. Then
again, you got Cyberpunk and Edgerunners that are
but how many other ones were made before then that weren't that people were pissed off about, like Cowboy Bebop, right? That show got canceled from Netflix because it didn't do well, and I mean so many others that just don't cut it.
Well, you know, it's a lot of expectation based, right? So Cowboy Bebop, people had high expectations, it didn't live up. Cyberpunk, you already heard my stance on it before I saw it, right?
Exactly.
It was like, I don't care in the world. But then it blew my mind because it was so good.
Yeah.
So same thing with these things, right? Who's going to ever think about any of these things? But they have low risk because nobody expects them to do that well. So if they are good, the chances are they could make a decent splash. But it's you just don't know. You know?
That's what I'm saying. The more known ones are going to be a little more difficult. It can get lost.
Yeah.
In
Persona is the one that I think is the biggest, most well-known one in the bunch. And I mean, I'm going to play it when it comes to Game Pass, so I do want to try it out.
It's such a long. It's a very long game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna commit to beating the game.
That's what I'm wondering. In the movie, can they potentially pull in all the elements that make it that way?
They're going to have to compound it greatly. Compress it, and then I mean, there's, they can always make more movies of it, assuming it does well. But they will have to do well. They should turn them into shows.
Maybe.
You have more time, more breath you can
put
into it.
That is true. But, a whole season.
I mean, we're not really, like I said, we're not really big into these particular things. Maybe in a couple of months we talk about this again because I play Persona, I love Persona, and I'm a Persona fanboy.
Well, I say that's the deal, and let's see what happens.
All right. So another little tidbit here. Hamilton.
What a boot.
Hamilton is phenomenal.
It is.
It's a phenomenal movie on Disney Plus.
Didn't want to see it for a while.
For a long time.
Yes,
Years.
and I'm glad.
Years.
I'm glad I did.
I'm super glad I did.
Annoyed I missed out for so long.
Yes, agreed. There was a lot of collectibles and things that we probably would have gotten. But it was phenomenal. The best Broadway I've ever seen. The best soundtrack ever in any movie or Broadway show.
Agree. When it comes to like listening to it over and over again and being able to pick up in any song and just listen to it.
And love it. I, to this day, very regularly we'll just put it on.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a weird thing for me. I never thought a soundtrack would be something that I would do, but I do. It's literally my most played thing that I listen to at any given moment.
What is your favorite song?
Hmm.
Do you have a favorite
I
song?
do.
Okay.
I do. And for some reason, I'm blanking on the name. It's number 5. Which one?
Yes, the numbers. It's all set. So I would say that I was shocked by when I watched the movie because My Shot was the one I heard a lot, and it was so catchy and everything. But after watching the whole thing, and I find myself humming and singing "The Room Where It Happened," "The Room Where It Happened," and
Yes.
I was very shocked by that being the song that I kind of left with. That was what I took.
Yeah, The Room Where It Happened.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's so catchy.
That's a very.
I mean,
good song.
it's kind of almost impossible to pick a favorite song or whatever. They all have their own essence. They're all special in its own way. They're sang a certain way. The lyrics, the catchiness, the everything. It's very well put together, and it's crazy because so many people are a part of this soundtrack, right? So it was brought together by a group of people. It's not like this one. He really is. It's not like this one artist that you know the voice and whatever.
Yeah, these are all random people, and they're so amazing. And by the way, I completely lied. It was not number 5 in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
It's actually the song "Satisfied."
Oh yes.
My favorite song. Angelica Schuyler played. I don't remember her name, but in this version from the soundtrack, her freaking singing is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that song. It's for sure my favorite Hamilton song. But just like you said, there's so many good ones. Like there's so many good. Like I literally just start from the beginning and just go run through. It's like 45 songs. I just let it run through.
It is insane to be able to make such a masterpiece. To be able to, I mean, obviously it took him a very long time to put together and to write all these songs and you know. But for each one of them to be so special, for each one of them to be heard in the same, because I find them all equally special. Yes, some of them are, sometimes you feel a little more in tune with one and more in tune with the other, but there's no bad songs. Exactly. There's not one bad song. None. in the soundtrack.
So good, and everybody sings so well.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
It's
and they
insane.
tell a story.
They
tell a story through the songs.
I just don't see how you can't like the play.
Yeah, I mean
the movie.
Listen, no matter what,
there are people that don't like it.
There's
but
people who don't like it. I get it.
I don't understand.
I don't get it.
That's a rough one for me because I'm always like, oh, it's, you know, some people like it, some people don't. It is what it is. But it's hard for me to understand not liking this play or this movie or the soundtrack. Yes. You know?
Now, our very own Purple Berry,
mm-hmm.
which is of the YouTube channel Purple Berry Crafts, and does all the voices of the girls,
the female characters
who are
Mario
not British
MADMAN
accents,
mm-hmm.
On the Mario Kart MADMAN amiibo videos.
And plushies.
Yeah, and the plushie videos. She is also obsessed with Hamilton.
Oh, she knows every word.
She does.
Every word.
Every word. And they came out with some parody video songs.
And she knows every word to that.
All the words of those. So anything Hamilton and Hamilton adjacent, she's obsessed with. I mean, we went to the play. We actually saw Hamilton live. Not this cast, sadly. That's why it makes me so sad. I wish I knew about it earlier because I would love to see this cast do it. Oh my God. What a miss. But the cast that we saw was excellent, was very good. And it's just to show you that this songs that he did, the way he wrote this play.
It's a movement.
It's a movement. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Agree, 100%.
Absolutely.
There's so much that you miss when you watch the movie and then you pick something up on the lyrics of the songs that you didn't hear before, And then, like, there's so much detail. And then you guys were talking about the play and how you get a different view again from it than when you're watching the movie, because everything is in movement. It's not focused on just one person.
It
All
really
the other
was
characters
so
are doing
different.
something else.
It was so different. You experience it and you see so much more, and you just really feel, because it looks exactly like, it's identical. The scenery, everything you saw in the movie in Disney Plus, it's identical. The way they dressed, identical. But there's just something about the sound when you're there, the feeling of the expressions that they're making, seeing how people come off and come on the stage, choreographed. Nobody just comes up on the stage. It's not like, lights on me, so I'm just going to walk on and then the light will be on me. Mm-hmm. Every moment is intricately detailed.
It's emotion. It's going in flow with everything else. There's no like, okay, and stop, and then let's go back in.
Exactly. 5 stars, 10 stars. However many stars are needed, that's what Hamilton is.
Gold stars or like stickers,
no,
or
like real stars.
What are we gonna do
like
with
in
that?
The sky.
Okay. Oh.
Like
okay. Wow.
All the stars.
Okay, that's.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's really it's really something special.
Something special, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep, something worth checking out. Like I said, I was like, I don't think I care to see it. Remember, try watching it, and then something happened. And
last thing before we go, just a little quick tidbit. We haven't all were able to watch it, but we did watch Hocus Pocus 2.
Correct.
Okay, so we're not going to go into it now. Next podcast we'll do a deeper dive talk, but it did come out yesterday, so I want to acknowledge that we did see it.
Yes.
And again, like I said, we weren't all able to see it all, so we don't have completely formulated opinions, but I will say I did watch it all, and I really enjoyed it. I think it was a worthwhile sequel. The first one will always have, its place in my heart as the great movie and the better movie, meaning, because of the
original. Yes,
it started it. But it was a worthwhile beginning, and it was a definitive ending. So this is not we're doing a bunch of Hocus Pocuses. This was let's revisit it for a new generation.
That's what I think, because I did see it was almost kind of like a way of continuing the Hocus Pocus brand.
The brand itself, not the
original cast. It was a way of closing the chapter on them and opening a chapter
on the new people,
on the new cast.
And you know what I think they're going to do? I think they're going to do a Hocus Pocus TV show with this cast.
For Disney, yes.
So
I do
think
I agree with that 100%.
With these new kids who are doing it, and that way they can flesh them out and make them part of it.
And then make movies as it goes.
And then
I agree with that.
Things with it. I think that's what they're going to do. Hocus Pocus is a big name, and it's a shame that it's been sitting there for so long. Even though every year it comes back up, because Halloween, it's a staple of Halloween movies from a lot of people. So, and I agree with that, and I would venture that, honestly, I would say this will become a staple for me. Watch part 1 and then watch part 2.
Yeah,
I can see it.
All right. Well, the room where it happened. I'm leaving the room where it happened. The room where it happened.
This was episode 10 of MADMAN Podcast.
MADMAN Podcast.
I think it was really good.
I had a good time.
It was really fun. I know it was just the two of us. I hope that was good enough out there in the world, but I think I had a fun time. It was fun.
High
five. We're going to go ahead and wrap this out. Mario Kart Madman.
Out!
Out!